talk to you about what it means to be you, to truly, authentically be yourself, what that looks like and what that feels like, but more importantly, why that is so vitally important, because it really is. First off, when you can accept yourself for every single thing that you are. I like to say the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, just to accept yourself. When you do that, you are actually building confidence in yourself. And when the world has more people who are confident individuals, the better the world is. But also, when you can accept yourself, you are showing others how to accept you. But you are also better able to accept other people where they are. Because when you accept yourself, you don't have judgment. You might have certain things you want to change and evolve and grow from, of course, but you're also not judging yourself in the process. You're realizing that something is a moment in time and that you're growing from that. So this topic is so vitally important to me that I actually named my company after this. I'm Connie Jo Holmes. I'm the founder of Be You to Be Full Hypnosis and Coaching. And the Be You in my company name, because it is spelled a little awkward, but the Be You in my company name actually stands for self-acceptance. I teach individuals how to truly accept themselves. And then when people can accept themselves, it's easier to love yourself. And then when you love and accept yourself, it's a natural entry point into having a very fulfilled life. And to me, this is our job. This is our responsibility to accept ourselves. It kind of seems a little bit absurd that we even have to say that. Like, you are you, I am me, you are you. And that's a beautiful thing. Like these differences in people, that is what makes the world go round. That is what makes the world interesting. So to even sit here and to say, the importance of accepting ourselves actually sounds absurd. I mean, if you look at Mother Nature, does the cedar tree outside, do they sit there and wish that they were the river birch? No, they are what they are. Look at the dogs in your life, whether you have dogs or your neighbors or other family members. I mean, that English bulldog isn't sitting there wishing it was a Labrador retriever or vice versa. They're just happy to be alive. They're just happy to be here. And why can us as humans not get to that point? But we can. And that is my mission with my company. And the reason why it is so vitally important is because when you listening to this right now, when you can truly embrace who you are at your core, you are modeling that for the world. If you have children, nieces, nephews, anything, neighbors, whatever it might be, you are modeling the way to show others what that true self-acceptance looks like. And then people want to embody that for themselves. And so therefore you're an inspiration for them. And then, honest to God, simply the world is just a happier place. Right now, the world, the universe, is at the cusp of something major, massively major. Okay, please listen to me here. And at this cusp that we are sitting at, we have two choices. It is either to follow fear or to follow love. Two choices. If you think about things in your life, anything, and if you trace it back to the root, you will find that things were chosen out of fear or love. That really is it. And so, since we are at such a vitally important cusp in this entire universe right now, that is why it's vitally important for people to accept and to love themselves. Because when people don't do that, then that is when they sit in negative emotions. That is when they embody those negative emotions. They allow moments of anger to create them to be an angry person. They allow moments of doubt and disappointment to define them, for them to no longer have self-esteem, things like that. And so when people are not operating and vibrating at this frequency that is one of love, then that's the opposite then, and that is one of fear. And so therefore, the more people who can truly understand why this is so important and to really bring this into their life and to share it out with others, that's what we need to do right now as a humanity. Absolutely. So you might be listening to this and think, okay, it sounds great, lady, but how I've done all these bad things, or whatever labels it is that, we have been called and we're choosing to stay on us. You might sit there and say, well, that's great for you, but how do I do this for me? Well, there's a few ways you can do it for you. One is, labels. If you have been labeled, I don't know, the stupid one if in your family, if you have been labeled, the drama queen, if whatever these stupid labels are. I mean, see, stupid labels. Get rid of them. I mean, I read once long ago and I thought it was great. Maybe it was a meme. I can't remember where I heard it or saw it the first time, but it's like labels need to be reserved for canned goods. That's it. That is it. You do not need to wear a label at all. So shed all of those right now. The other thing, sometimes people can tend to have a hard time accepting themselves because they're comparing themselves to somebody else. And you know what? In my book, it's over my shoulder here, I'm pointing to it. I actually have a phrase in there that, to me, comparison is the gateway to depression. I mean, think about it, and I know I've compared myself before, of course I have. I think we're all human. We tend to do those things. But the point is to realize how damaging that is and to stop that behavior immediately. But anyways, so when you do catch yourself comparing yourself to somebody else, be reminded of this simple little example. So there is a reason why there's coffee and there's tea. There's a reason why there's Coke and there's Pepsi. And I could go on and on with comparisons, but you know what? Just because I'm a coffee drinker does not mean that tea is terrible. I'll drink tea. It's not my preferred choice, but I'll drink it. My preferred choice is a black coffee. That does not mean there is anything wrong with tea. Not at all. And then, so with Coke and Pepsi, if I choose to be a Pepsi drinker, Coke isn't off in the corner crying his eyes out. It's just understood that there's a flavor for everyone. And just because somebody, if you're comparing yourself, just because somebody else might be a tea drinker and your coffee, that's okay. Your person, your opportunity, your whatever will come along. It's when we fight too much. Like when I say fight, when we hope and dream and fight our way to the top or something like that, that's no good. That's a bad energy thing. It's when we wish ill for other people because they might be having what we want and we don't have it yet. That's bad energy, that type of thing. So that if you're doing that, that might be why you're not accomplishing what you want yet. Be happy for those people, because in your true, genuine happiness for another, that's going to bring that happiness onto you. Another way to help with this is understanding our emotions too. It's a lot of people, I feel, sometimes run away from our emotions, and no surprise. How many times in your life, especially when you're a child, were you told, stop crying, get over it or whatever? I mean, that's just one example. Or if somebody was having a moment, they might be like, go to your room. Well, what did that teach us? That taught us to run away from our emotions or to hide our emotions, And so I actually feel, I want to interject here, and or what happens is, these emotions don't always feel good. I mean, who wants to feel hurt? Who wants to feel angry? Not many people, So since they don't feel good, we kind of, shove them away because, oh, well, I don't want that. And I get that. But I encourage everybody, I encourage all of my clients to, whatever emotion you might have, sit with it, not too long where you do a downward cycle, but sit with it long enough so you can truly understand, what am I feeling exactly? And why am I feeling this way? I guarantee you, anger is never, ever anger. It shows up as anger, but there was probably hurt behind it or sadness or something like that. That's an example. So the next time you have a really strong emotion, a really peaked emotion, sit with that long enough to understand it. The reason why that's important, I have a whole chapter in my book about self-reflection. I strongly feel self-reflection is probably one of the biggest muscles we all need to be building. And that is because with self-reflection, that's our opportunity to review good things that happen, so we can be like, wow, that was really good. That was pivotal. I need to do that again. This was good. It's kind of like that, analyzing it so you know what to, rinse and repeat. But the same is true when there's a low. That's our opportunity to review something and be like, oh God, that didn't quite go right. Oh, that was when it started to turn. These kind of things. The point is not to beat ourselves up over it. The point is to learn from it, because when we learn from it, we grow and then we evolve as a person. And so then when we do that, that is a massive win. So that massive win neutralizes this low moment. And then it makes it feel like it was worth having, if you will, so then that is something that I always encourage people. And you really don't discover these things until you actually do that self-reflection, to sit in those moments of your life and to really, and in my chapter, I say, like, own our shit. We all have that. So it's like really just evaluating, what was my role in this? Why did I allow that to be my role? What can I, take and learn from this? I also tell people, with their high highs and low lows, sometimes people might have something, big, these skeletons in the closet or whatever. And I get it, but sometimes when you can actually, because, theoretically, you have learned and grown from that skeleton in your closet. So when you can actually take your learnings and help another person along, oh my God, that actually makes that, moment, that skeleton in the closet, that actually turns it into actually a win, because you are being vulnerable to share, but you're also being loving and giving. See, you're moving from fear, like, ooh, I'm going to keep that in the closet, to being loving because you desire to share, give back, and help another. Because if you can help somebody to not have to learn the hard way like you did, that's a beautiful thing. And then just like that self-reflection, it's an opportunity for you to take something that was kind of cruddy, but you learned and grew from it, and you taught somebody else. So then that really makes that situation so much better and a learning opportunity for everyone. And then again, goes back and it neutralizes that original event that you viewed as being, not so great. Couple of other things I tell my clients, and this is all again about, that self-acceptance, being able to look at ourselves in the mirror for something crappy that we did or something great that we did. But in this case, it's about building our self-acceptance and, being able to face it. So with that, another thing I let my clients know is that, things in our life happen to us, but they do not have to define us. I think that's a big problem, is that people, like, okay, we were labeled something, we were labeled, the drama queen, or, we had a moment in our life that, we were very dramatic for whatever reason. I'm just using this as a theme now. And so we're allowing, these certain events that happened to us to define us for our entire life. Is that really fair? I mean, seriously, is that really fair? Um, and so those who might just be listening to this, in a further explanation here is I'm like moving my hands here because, here my hands are about shoulder width apart, and this is representing our life. Okay. And so here is our big old span of life. And then here's this moment. Now I'm shrinking my fingers to a 1 inch span here. So, these events that happen to us are just a fraction. They're just a speck of time in our whole timeline. So why in the world would we allow this tiniest, in the grand scheme of things, why would we allow the tiniest of a moment in our life to define the rest of our life? I mean, that's just silly. So, okay, so with the fear and the love, I want to just say with that, because if you are somebody who you do tend to be a little bit fearful. And when I say fearful, I mean, okay, maybe not being willing to express yourself, being able to make yourself vulnerable, not being willing to do some self-reflection, not being willing to sit with your emotions long enough to really understand what's at the root of them. If you are somebody who, you kind of live in the land of lack and that type of thing, that's fear. Versus love is, gratitude, it's generosity, it's being curious and open, those types of things. It's also like looking at the world in abundance. If you live in gratitude, automatically your world is abundant. So those are some examples of fear-based and love-based. And again, all of this is so vitally important because we're at the cusp of something massive in our universe right now. And so it's vital for everybody to truly accept themselves and to love and accept ourselves so we can be very full human beings, because when we're full, we have something to give to others. And that is our responsibility right now in this moment. I cannot express that enough. But anyways, if you are somebody who hangs around, and it's not at a conscious level, I promise you, because who would want to, right? But if you are somebody who kind of hangs around in the fear-based world, a way to help you get out of that is to develop curiosity. And the way you develop curiosity is by incorporating wonder thinking into your life. Start to walk around your days and just say, I wonder what it would feel like to express myself in a vulnerable manner. I wonder what it would feel like to tell that person I love them. I wonder what it would feel like to hold on to somebody for even 5 seconds longer for the next hug. Whatever it may be. But those are ways to get you out of a fear-based mode, is to incorporate that wonder thinking. So, all right, this video is a little bit longer than I typically do, but this is a big topic. The timing is vital. We all have a role to play. It is our job to accept ourselves. And even if there are areas of your life, because in self-reflection, you're going to find things like, oh, I could probably do this a little bit better, or I don't really want to do that again, that type of thing. That's fine. So even when, I'm going to say it this way, even when you accept yourself and love yourself, there's still probably areas that you want to enhance or improve. I mean, I think that's a natural evolution. And so when that is the case, it's really just a matter of, knowing that and just improving yesterday's version of you. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that really resonates with you. If this is something that you need help in, I can help you with this. I'm a coach as well as a hypnotherapist, but there's also so many other people out there too. So if we're a great fit, that's wonderful. But if not, I encourage you to do this work for yourself. Reading books, listening to podcasts, watching more videos on my YouTube channel, talking with friends. You feel free to schedule a free 30-minute consultation call with me. I do a lot of things I have a lot of content and I share it in a number of ways. And I do this because I want to do my best to reach people where they are. And knowing that people are in different places right now, financially, of course, but also just where are you at, in your space, like, on that spectrum of, fear-based to love-based, where are you, And so I have a lot of content to meet people where they are. And so a couple of examples of that for 3.5 years, I've been hosting a free monthly meetup course. And it is titled, it's all about building your self-esteem and self-confidence. I'm walking my walk with my company name and all this stuff, and it's free. And I give great content for an hour and a half once a month, and I have over 1,700 members in it, so they're really getting some great value. If you go on my website, which is ConnieJoHolmes.com, if you click on the events tab, you will find I have I have an online course. It's about resetting yourself for a life of confidence and fulfillment. It's $59. I have some upcoming workshops. They're 3 hours in length, and it's about raising your vibrational energy so that the law of attraction can work for you. That's priced at $89. So those are some different, so free to $59 to $89. I have other things as well. You can also see me one-on-one, different things like that. So if any of this interests you, please check all of that out. But most importantly, please do absolutely everything that you can right in this moment to get out of any fear-based and move to love-based, knowing that our world relies on this right now more than it absolutely ever has. And how that happens is by you listening to this right now, truly accepting yourself for the beautiful soul that you are, so that you can then model that way for others, so that more people on this earth can live a life of acceptance and fulfillment. Just feel and think about that ripple effect, right? That ripple effect could be huge. All right. Thank you so much. You take care.